All videos are exclusive copyright of Harry Regician. From FindSarahAvon.com. Video titled Squash Chicago Style. Subtitled Stumbled Upon Discovery, University of Florida Style. Chicago Tribune is a U.S. registered trademark of the Tribune Company out of Chicago, Illinois. ProQuest is a U.S. trademark of ProQuest Limited Liability Corporation in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Newsbank is a U.S. registered trademark of Newsbank Incorporated in Naples, Florida. Oh, the deed were good, for now the devil that told me I did well says that this deed is chronicled in hell. Shakespeare. When the truth is found to be in your archives, it's not going to be a good day for management. This is not fiction. Please excuse the attire, but the people that I'm dealing with are seriously dangerous, in my opinion. 2 people now have vanished, and I need to stay cloaked because they haven't seen me for 25 years, unless, of course, someone in law enforcement has supplied them with my picture of my driver's license, which is a possibility, I might add, because these people know people in law enforcement. In January, I went to the University of Florida George Smathers Library microfilm department to obtain an updated scan of the article titled Where's Sarah, published in the Chicago Tribune, January 30th, 1983. Where's Sarah? Why would I go to a library when these articles are now on the internet? And the reason was I used to see this article online, and I paid $3.99 every time to view it on Newsbank. From 2007 to 2011 is the first time on July 21st, 2011 I would access Newsbank, and the article was no longer available online. It had been there for years. The article has vanished, just like Sarah Avon did in 1981. Walking to the university and asked them to see the microfilm, and of course I get, you can view them online, and I said, well, you don't get the pictures now, do you? And I get, yeah, you're right. A more senior person asked me the same thing, and I tell her, January 30th, 1983, Chicago Tribune. The article's titled Where's Sarah? It's in the very back end of the microfilm. And they had gone through a major upgrade, and I was hoping that their equipment would be better and crisper when you do scans. I personally thought this person had forgotten about me, because over 10 minutes later she comes back and says, we can't find the microfilm. And Harry's reply is, they're that good. She looks at me like, WTH, and I says, no, really, they could have come in here, borrowed the microfilm, viewed it, and half hour later walked out, and you would have never known it. These people are that good. I've never seen anybody be able to cover their tails so good in my entire life. She says, okay. And she gets my email address and says, I'll look into it. Well, 3 days later, I get an email back that I can only dream of. What I didn't know is that universities get a service called ProQuest. And ProQuest and Newsbank are owned by the same company out of Naples, Florida. In this email that she sends to me, it says full text not available, and it says a date on the bottom is April 2nd, 2012. And that is a very key date, April 2nd, 2012. This is the printout from ProQuest about the article Where's Sarah that was last updated on April 2nd, 2012. I highlighted it with WTH. Talk about stumbled upon discovery issue of my entire life. She also had scanned the article Where's Sarah, and also the ProQuest document ID number. Last updated is newspaper code for squashed. So when I saw that date of April 2nd, 2012, I couldn't believe it, because I emailed her back and sent her 2 links to 2 newspaper articles in the Austin Statesman in Austin, Texas, in regards to a homicide that on March 19th, 2012, the prosecution cannot find their key witness, who has disappeared, who is the ex-wife of the person charged with murder, and she was grazed by a bullet, I might add, too. As of March 19, 2012, a witness has vanished, just like Sarah Avon vanished on July 21, 1981. Undertake what you need. AustinTexasStatesman.com, February 21, 2012. Headline: Hearing for former corrections officer charged with murder delayed to March. Paragraph 3. Prosecutors say they cannot go forward with a trial against Lum without the ability to call as a witness his former wife who has disappeared.
So now I'm not dealing with one missing persons case, I'm dealing with two.
More on the homicide in Texas and videos how to get away with Part 1 and Part 2.
So I send her an email 3 days later with those two links to the Austin newspaper. And I says, this is Harry. You're going to be in a place again. I'd like to come up there and view some microfilms. You're going to be around. And what I get back, I cannot make up. Due to health issues, I will be out of the office indefinitely. Now, if you think what I sent her scared the living hell out of her, you're absolutely right, and it would scare the living hell out of anybody. So let me give you a quick rundown here. The article titles Where Sarah's published in the Chicago Tribune newspaper, the magazine section, on January 30th, 1983, and it's called Where Sarah, and it's an award-winning article, by the way. There's only two major articles, and the other one's 150th anniversary of Chicago. The article is removed off of ProQuest server on April 2nd, 2012. Murder charges dismissed on March 19th, 2012. Ex-wife cannot be found, disappears. March has 31 days, the 19th of March, 12 days, 2 days in April, 14 days later, the article disappears on ProQuest server.
It is no miracle that another vanishment happened by March 19, 2012 in Austin, Texas, just like another vanishment that took place on July 21, 1981 in Joliet, Illinois.
I subscribe to the Chicago Tribune Digital Plus service from March of 2015 to October 2016 for the sole purpose that you could access their back archives free of charge, and it was only $7.95 a month.
Chicago Tribune Digital Plus archive subscribers have an inside exclusive.
When I used to pay $3.99 an article, that was quite a deal for its time. It's also important to note that ProQuest was actually the administrator of these archives. So when you went there, you actually went to a ProQuest address, and when you logged into the Chicago Tribune membership, it would pass you through.
More on the archive search under the video Web Forensics 101.
This case was officially started on a state level in 1987 when a division of the Illinois State Police called iSearch, which was established to find missing children, a sergeant named Bob Gamora opened up Illinois case number 87-Z0810. This case number almost didn't get generated until I sent them about 100 pages on a 5 1/4 floppy way back when, in 1987. Somehow, Will County found out about it. A sergeant by the name of Len Jacon actually called up Bob Gamora and told him that this was Will County's case and keep your nose out of it. And that made Bob Gamora so happy that he generated Illinois case number 87-Z0810. So I guess I should be very happy with a sergeant in Will County who doesn't want to hear a word I have to say, and Will County, all they can do is scream at you is investigate Billy, and to this date they do not have one person ever arrested in regards to the Sarah Avon case, but they do have their suspect. And for a highlight of how everything synchronizes together here, you should go through the video called Headlines. Today, we're not talking one missing person. Today, we're talking two. The person who should be of prime interest, not the prime suspect, at least in the Sarah Avon case, should have been questioned a long time ago. I think that someone really close to him possibly did the deed. I think this person has knowledge of it. And when you read my write-up, I read yesterday's News Today, just remember that this all was in the state of Illinois Police Department's hands way back in 1987. The original DOS file of I Read Yesterday's News Today is stamped July 24th, 1987.
This is a picture of the time date stamp of the file I Read the News Today, oh boy, Please notice it's July 24th, 1987, 2:55 p.m. That's the file that iSearch Illinois State Police received. I read yesterday's News Today, oh boy, includes everything that was given to Illinois State Police Division of iSearch back in 1987. So many people know about this story, it's not funny. In reality, it's pathetic.
To me, this story is a definition of a true cover-up. It should not be a cover-up.
This story should have been a news reporter's dream come true, an example of what the press can be and can do.
But every time I come forward to this, it just amazes me how time and time again, it does me no good. And people literally in our government who are in law enforcement go out of their way to not only discredit me, but absolutely sabotage, in some cases, my work. As someone who's been in computers since 1970, who has a serious interest in computer forensics and cell phone forensics.
Copy of my Belkosoft Evidence Center user certificate. Copy of my Oxygen Forensics user certificate. My score for the Oxygen Forensics certificate. Notice it's the first pass and I got over 96% correct.
When I read the book, Computer Forensics for Dummies, when I got to chapter 10, it says if you're going to get into this business, you're going to be working for one of two people. You're either going to be working for the prosecution or you're going to be working for defense attorneys. The author's point is that if you go work for defense attorneys after you get your certification, you will never be able to work for law enforcement and or prosecutors. And if you are after 5 to 10 years with prosecutors and then you want to go work for defense attorneys, then make that move then. But if you start off right away, you will never ever be asked by anybody in law enforcement to work for them. I have received more than one invite to go to our government computer security conferences. And when I see cases like the perfect one was the Ron Zimmerman case, where the cell phone examiner came forward with information that the prosecutor did not want let out, and he is fired. He's got over $50,000 of education and hardware in his life, and now his career is completely destroyed. I asked my government this: how can I go work for you when I know what I know? That I know when people who can come forward with the information time and time again, and it is absolutely torpedoed. Sabotage. The people in Illinois, as far as I'm concerned, Chicago especially, and even Major League Baseball do not want you to hear this story. I hope you have some time to go through the web forensics, headlines, video, and how to get away part 1 and 2. This is Harry signing off, telling you to be safe out there. We don't live in a kind world.
Try to remember this is a story about Sarah Avon vanishing from Joliet, Illinois on July 21st, 1981. To be notified of only new developments and or new posts, please sign up at findsarahAvon@gmail.com. You may also want to check out findsarahAvon.com for more details too. All videos and content are exclusive copyrights of Harry Magician.